Hello, and welcome to the Salem Station Podcast, a new show where we rank and review all of your favorite horror movies. So this is episode 1. There's 95 movies in that we're going to cover on this podcast, starting from the worst, making our way to the top. So this is movie number 95, and that movie, unfortunately, is Critters,
Shit.
which we have. Yes, that
Yes,
is
yes.
yes. We have just watched this movie, and my God, was it something to behold? You guys could watch it on Amazon Prime. It was on HBO Max not that long ago, but it was taken down. And honestly, I can see why. I'm your host, Robert,
And I'm your co-host, Alex,
and we have a guest today.
the wonderful Cristian Von Doom.
Hello.
Alrighty. So, Christian, before watching this, what was your favorite horror movie? What horror movie would you say you enjoyed watching?
I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I don't really watch that much scary movies, and I don't really enjoy them.
Yeah,
But I guess one that I would, be my favorite would be Insidious, because
yes.
I mean it was scary that made me have like nightmares for weeks. But
Honestly, yeah.
yeah,
That little song. What was it?
Just go to the
window. Or
yeah.
something? Yeah, that's pretty.
I mean
creepy,
that I guess it's like the scariest one I've seen, but I don't really have favorite scary movies because I don't really watch them that
Mhm.
much.
I'm gonna probably have you for other episodes, and I'm gonna see if your
I develop a
thoughts.
favorite one. Yeah.
That's what I'm hoping to do. Over
Nice to-
95 episodes, we hopefully there's progress in this with this podcast. I doubt it though. This podcast is far from professional.
Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. Kind of
Yeah,
rough beginnings.
I'll go 11.
Very rough. Okay,
Very
people
rough.
listening to this, we had to buy this movie 3 or 4 times because it was on HBO.
We had to individually buy this movie for each one of us to watch it. This is $12 that we spent. We spent more time trying to watch this movie than we spent watching the damn movie.
Yeah, because it was on HBO Max, and I was like, okay, we're good to go. But then they take it down, and I'm like, oh. And
Literally
you know what?
2
Yeah.
days before we record this, they take it down.
They're all like, I see your plans, psych. Yeah. So, Christian, what was your thought on this movie?
I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I just looked up the movie's title or whatever. I knew it was gonna be bad.
Uh-huh.
I knew it was gonna be bad without even seeing it. Nothing makes sense in the movie. Nothing at all for me. There's so many things I have
Yeah.
questions about. The storyline's bad.
What?
Shit.
Yeah. The moment you heard, oh, we're gonna watch Critters, you're like, oh, that sounds whack already.
I mean, it didn't judge it by the name of its title. I mean,
right.
the movie.
It's like judging Killer Clowns from Outer Space. That title is kind of out there, but it's a really good movie.
I mean, yeah, I'm gonna judge it. I mean,
Yeah, one of
I
my
kind of
favorite
seen
movies,
that.
honestly.
I mean, I never seen Clowns for Outer Space or whatever.
You should be here for that episode. That's a really good movie. It's
I mean, I
funny.
never watched it. I kind of assume it's bad because of the title and mixing clowns in space. But
Yeah.
I was right about Critters.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
bad.
It definitely wasn't the best.
It's it wasn't. So this movie came out, I think, 2 years after Gremlins, which Gremlins was, I don't know if it was a commercial success, but I know people really love Gremlins. Gremlins is
It
a
definitely has a
beloved.
cult following.
Yeah, and it's like this studio, New Line Cinema. I'm looking at True New Line. They were like, hey, Gremlins, everyone loves Gremlins. Let's remake that, but not with the same quality that movie has.
Let's make it, but with half the budget.
Yeah, and not only that, let's incorporate other things that are in pop culture. So E.T. is something pretty big right now. Star Wars too. Yeah. Let's bring that into the movie. There's so many Star Wars movies. The cat's name is Chewie. Oh my god.
Chewie.
I mean,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
hard.
Star Wars callback.
Yeah.
It's hard to make something big without the budget. So I mean, they could have maybe done it,
Yeah.
but their budget doesn't seem like it was that much.
Yeah, that budget was pretty bad. Like if they would have had at least like a good writer and like good actors, then maybe. But
I
yeah.
mean, yeah, this movie 6 out of 10 on like that's a rating.
On
I don't think it's
IMDb.
6 out of 10. I think it's more like of a 3
Yeah.
to be honest.
There's no it's not really yeah, 6 out of 10 would be like, oh, it's a like 5 is what? Like halfway average.
It's not a 6.
It's like it's a little bit above average. This movie does not deliver. Let me look up. You know what? I did not look up its Rotten Tomato score. Not that you should judge a movie by it, but
Yeah,
let me see.
I always do.
Usually, Rotten Tomato scores they're usually good at a glance. Like you can usually judge an audience's
Right.
reaction to
from
it.
there, but sometimes they're not right.
But I think for this movie, it's probably going to be spot on, man.
Yeah.
This
So
shit
the
was
audience,
rotten.
yeah. Oh yeah. This the audience score was 45, and the tomato meter was 55%.
I'm gonna be
So,
honest. That's a lot higher than I thought it was gonna be. I expected a 20 or a 30.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would.
it is.
You know,
It's
you-
way higher.
I mean, I don't want to compare this movie to any once. Sorry, you could go ahead.
The special effects were decent, but
For its time.
for its
Yeah,
time,
For its
but, like,
time.
even
Yeah.
back then, they were better. They were way better special effects.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. I wouldn't
There you go.
compare this Rotten Tomato score to like Justice League or anything, but like, I mean, you can't judge it by the score as well, unless you've seen the movie. But watching this movie doesn't make me wanna watch the sequels. You know, it's
Oh my
not
God. Oh,
bad.
yeah.
I don't even want to watch them. Like,
Yeah, this movie has 3 sequels that I know of.
there's like
that I know
5
of.
or 4.
No, there's 5.
4, yeah.
Oh
I know there's 4.
Okay.
There's 4 for sure.
Yeah.
I think there's another one. It
Oh.
doesn't have a number. It's called something else. But no, like, why? Why would I
Yeah.
watch this?
There's probably an audience out there that we're offending really badly. They're like, no, Critters is a success. But no, I'm sorry, folks.
Okay, sorry to interrupt, but there is 5 movies. The latest movie was called Critters Attack. It was made in 2019.
Alright, let me look that up.
Last year?
There is a Critters movie that came out 2019. Future episode,
I would-
let everybody know we're definitely watching that. It has a 44% Rotten Tomatoes and a 3.7
Oh my
out of 10 on
God, the original.
IMDb.
It has the same Rotten Tomato score as the original. Nice to know nothing has changed with the
That's
franchise.
how you know it's gonna be good.
Same quality. Yeah. Okay. Alex, I'll ask, what's your favorite horror movie?
Honestly,
we go
I
further.
only recently got into horror films.
Right.
through
What's
you.
your like
You're the one that really got me in horror films.
Yeah.
But honestly, like overall in the genre, I'd probably say Killer Clowns, just because I love that movie.
yeah, that movie's pretty sick. We went to Universal Studios last Halloween Horror Nights last year.
We did.
They had the maze for that, and that maze, I think that was my favorite maze.
It was so incredible. It had scenes from every part of the movie, and it was so well done. It was incredible.
The colors, I think, fit it so perfectly. The clowns look like they came out of the movie. They look like they were the ones from the movie.
Oh yeah, no, it was honestly beautiful. It was beautiful. But I feel like we're getting too ahead of ourselves. We'll talk about that more when we get to that episode. But for now,
We've already mentioned that movie like times.
Yeah, no, it's just so good. It overshadows this
Yeah.
trash heap of a movie.
I've never seen that movie, so I wouldn't know.
We'll have you
Yeah,
on
you
for
should
that
watch-
episode.
That movie's pretty great.
Thank you.
I like.
I appreciate that.
Yeah,
Comedy movies. Don't expect like horror. Although there's kind of it's a horror comedy.
yeah, it's a horror comedy.
Yeah, it's like going into Zombieland and expecting no comedy. Like, no,
It's kind of like that. Is it like that? Kind of.
not
Yeah.
that kind of humor. It is humorous, but it's like humor from that time.
Like slapstick humor.
Yeah. You're gonna love it. Yeah.
I mean, because when I first heard about Killer Clowns from Outer Space, I kind of felt like it's like a kind of Sharknado type of movie. So I'm like, oh hell no, I'm never gonna
It
watch this
it's
shit. Like,
everything. It's everything this movie and that movie tries to be.
Yeah. You know how Sharknado tries to make something like cool with a title like that,
huh?
but they fail? It's like Killer Clowns from Outer Space. They execute that very well. You know, with that title, you know you're watching a cheesy movie, and they deliver
It's
a
not
good cheesy movie. Like
okay.
it's everything you expect from it and more. Like you're
All right
expecting like
then.
a bad, but yeah.
Then
Um.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways,
So
reeling it back to this movie.
yeah.
um.
Oh yeah.
So
What's you? Okay.
general plot idea. Critters
Okay.
come into space. We don't actually
Yeah.
see
Alrighty.
the damn monsters until what was it? Like
40
Like it was
minutes.
like
40 minutes in. Yeah.
it's like yeah, half an hour, a bit over half an hour or so. Yeah.
Like you're watching
Oh my
this
god.
movie and you forget it's about critters. You forget about it.
Yeah. You're watching these. Okay. So starting off the movie, you start off in space, which is when I first watched Critters. Like I thought of Critters as a Gremlins ripoff, and Gremlins has nothing to do with space. And when it started off in space, I was like, "Where's this movie going?" And then they have like this prison, and then they have like these bounty hunters that are supposed to hunt down these critters, and I was like, "What?" Like that. Like it already threw me off. Not that it was bad at that point, but it threw me off, and it was like a Ryan Johnson movie. It subverted my expectations. Um and
Yeah, definitely.
yeah, it starts off in space, and there are these bounty hunters that have to go after it. And I'm assuming these bounty hunters are good at what they do because they were hired for it. But as
But
we see throughout the movie,
it definitely doesn't
they're
seem
not.
like it.
Yeah. Um yeah, so they have like this thing where they can like mimic the species of whatever planet they're going to. So like
Or too much.
they're
Yeah.
watching like video clips of like human civilization, and they pad out the movie with a legit like full length music video of someone we're supposed to be like hyped for, like hell yeah, this music. Not gonna lie, after them having repeated the soundtrack for like 5 different times at that point,
80 times throughout the movie. Yeah, literally
Yeah.
the
Catchy.
only song they played throughout the entire movie.
it's the only song that had the budget for it. Not gonna lie, it kind of got stuck in my head. What was it?
Yeah.
Shadow of the Night or something? Night?
Shadow
I don't
of the
remember what it
Night.
was.
Yeah, by John Steele. You know, with that 80s name, that classic 80s name.
I thought he was an actual artist, but that's just the character name. He's played by I don't know what he's I don't know. I don't remember who he's
Kind of gives me a Rod Stewart type of vibe.
oh my god, dude. Yeah, so they arrive on Earth. So we see the critters crash land. And then they arrive on Earth. And there's a scene where we get introduced to like the family on the barn. So it's like your typical nuclear family. It's the mother, father, son, daughter.
I mean, American Family, actually.
Yeah, and they're living on a barn. And there's like this. He's not even a family member. He's like I forget his name. He's like a random guy who works for them, or is he a neighbor? Do you guys remember?
Oh, the crazy alcoholic dude.
Yeah, he has like this.
Well, he was hanging out with the kid. Like,
Yeah,
He's
just
like,
hangs
is it
out
his
with the
friend?
kid.
He shot like the girl on her ass with the slingshot. Like, what are you doing, man?
Yeah, he's just like creeping.
yeah,
around.
like, was it on purpose?
I don't remember, but that was the plot point of that scene was the plot point of the movie because you had like the father take away the kid's supper and then give it back to him and have like one of the few bonding moments, the few character moments in this movie. But yeah, so the guy the guy that's not part of the family, he shoots the sister on the ass with the slingshot. The boy gets in trouble for it, and they like revoke his supper. they they're like, no more supper for you, boy. And he's not the one who did it, but he like
To
took
blame.
over for the boy. Yeah. So you got some character for that kid.
I mean, but there's completely no character development at all.
Yeah, you don't see the guy then like own up to it and be like, no, it was me. Like, oh yeah, there is no character development.
I mean,
Is there?
What? I mean,
There
what
is
do you
foreshadowing.
expect?
Like all you see is a family bond, but it's what a family would already do during a
Yeah, I mean,
situation like
it's the
that.
most basic half-ass family bonding that I've ever seen. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, no, it's
Yeah,
definitely not the best.
you only see them bond over like that situation. Like because the father is mad with the son, and then what the mother, he doesn't approve of like the daughter's boyfriend, who is also another main character in this movie, and he's like, so once the critters attack, the boyfriend is just left to his own devices,
Yeah,
and he's
he
left in the
he's attacked and then left in the barn and literally not even once referred to for the rest of the movie. So as far
yeah,
as we know, there is just a dead body left in the barn as there is a happy ending at the end of the movie. The family
Yeah,
happily
like
returns to their home. There's just that boyfriend's body rotting in the barn.
yeah, because the critters kill him, and it's like a year, like it's like a couple days later when they have to go back to get hay, and they just find the body up there. Oh hey, I found so and
Oh
so's
hey, I
body.
remember you.
but doesn't the ship destroy everything, like the house and the barn? At the
I
end?
don't remember. Just the
No.
house.
It only destroyed the
It wasn't the
house.
house right next to the barn.
Are you
No.
sure? I thought it was only the
It
house
was only the house. They only had the budget to destroy the house.
But
because they
okay,
didn't
they
show the
destroyed the
barn.
house, and then the ship destroyed
No, the
like
ship
towards the
blew up.
middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know,
Honestly, I don't
but
know. Yeah. So then, after that, we see how these bounty hunters, their faces, they're basically like walking glow sticks. They morph into whatever they're looking at. So they're trying to assimilate into human society, and then one of them becomes like how I mentioned that music video, that fake artist. One of them becomes that, and he's supposed to be like a big deal in this movie, I guess.
he never is. Then
Yeah, he never is because no one recognizes him. They're like, "Who are you?" And I'm like, "You set him up." They show him in that. They show him in the TV when the mother's watching it. I think
if
they
he's
show
like
the
a
kid.
movie star or like pop star, actually.
Yeah, and I think the kid's listening to him. I don't know, like the fact that they don't recognize it is, yeah. But so then, um, they begin to assimilate by taking over like what the cop. No, the second one. The second one takes over the cop because he can't find what to take over. The cop dies, and that's where we like first see the critters when the critters take him, which was a weird death because they were like what? Like you see the little needle hit the cop, and then
Yeah.
he's dragged under the car or something like that.
Yeah, I mean it's a PG-13. Yeah, fun fact actually, I looked up the rating to this movie. It's PG-13. So
Oh
you know
yeah,
they can't have the monsters eating the bodies openly, so they just kind of have them like dragged off screen whenever.
I
Um,
mean, they could have him eating the
oh,
humans,
but they showed the
but it would
no,
have to
yeah,
be like through like you seen it from a shadow point of view.
yeah. I mean you never directly
oh
see
yeah,
them like tearing
Yeah,
into
you can't
someone.
do that unless it's like
I
rated
think
R.
the most gruesome we ever see is the carcass of a cow.
Yeah,
yeah, the bull, yeah,
Yeah, the
it's like
bull.
yeah, honestly, that was pretty good makeup for
Yeah,
that. That
that
was pretty
you
good.
could tell they
Props to them.
spent. They're so proud of that. You could tell they spent like half their budget on
or
that.
maybe they actually killed the cow and did that.
Oh my
Yeah,
god, you know a
Would have
movie
been cheaper.
in
that probably would have
in
been.
Friday the 13th. In Friday the 13th, that movie was really cheap that they had to show a scene where they kill a snake and they killed a legit snake. So every time you watch that movie, there's just a random actor just chopping away at a snake. It's so funny. Not
It's
fun.
funny.
It's messed
That's
up, but
funny.
it's so
It's a
funny.
little it's kind of insane that they filmed it. There's another movie, isn't there? I forget. There's another
It's like
movie where yeah that they have a scene of killing animals, killing a turtle. I think it was.
oh, I
I'm
don't
sure
remember.
someone will remember that. I forget. I think it's like some part. I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah,
I just
it's
want.
It's
usually
like
like
notorious for being one of the most gruesome films of all time, or something like
oh,
that.
I wonder what it is. Yeah,
I honestly
that's
forget.
usually like I know they did that for like because it was cheap. So this movie, I mean, this movie's like pretty cheap. So
Oh yeah.
kind of makes me question whether they killed that bull or
It's
not.
insane that it's cheaper to kill an actual animal than it is to get
Do the
a
makeup.
prosthetic. Yeah, do
Yeah.
the makeup for it.
Although I wonder how they did that. Okay, I'll get to later, but the house rebuilding scene. But I'll do that later. I'm going
Yeah, okay.
I mean,
um
okay, sorry. I just want to go back to the character development.
Oh
yeah.
yeah,
It
sure.
would have been. I don't know if you guys seen A Quiet Place.
Yeah.
Have you, Alex?
Quiet Place. Yeah.
Yeah, that type of character development would have been perfect for this movie.
Oh yeah.
Like how the dad sacrifices himself.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That'd be
Maybe something like that. It would have been great.
Yeah, you know what
Mhm.
you could have done? Like, you know how in that movie the daughter has like a disability where she can't hear and she
Yeah,
has to use the hearing aid? They should do something like that
but with the
where
kid, because he's like, with all the
because
fireworks and stuff.
in that
Yeah.
movie
But
that very in the quiet place, that disability kind of mirrors it's like a dichotomy to the aliens or whatever creatures in that movie because they also have like that hearing thing.
yeah,
They could have done something like that where the kid has some sort of thing where it mirrors what the critters have. That would
I mean, yeah, they could have. Yeah, I mean, they could have done that
uh
instead of spending all the time, most of their money and budget on those bounty hunters. There's no point
yeah,
of them. You could make this great movie without them.
yeah,
Like cut them out of the
they
movie. It would have been.
they literally
Yeah.
spent the budget blowing up doors and buildings.
Yeah. No, and
There was no point.
they also just like they made the kid just like MacGyver kid. Like the kid could do everything. It was insane. Like he like literally any problem that needed to be solved, the kid did it.
Yeah, he. Oh my god. Okay, so these bounty hunters, we see them in the beginning, and they clearly have no regards to other civilizations. They are harassing everyone they encounter. They drive up to a church and literally break down the front entrance of it. Like they just drive right into it. So it's been 3 days since we recorded our first episode, and we kind of had some technical difficulties already messing up on the first episode. Um, half of the first episode, half of the audio we recorded, was lost to cyberspace, and here we are trying to remember and recap what we went over. Unfortunately, we don't have Christian with us this time. Um, so yeah, we'll try to go over everything. So yeah, that's if everything sounds a bit different. If you're wondering where our guest went, yeah, that's on our behalf. Whoops.
Yeah, it's me specifically. I was trying to convert it, and whoops, the file somehow got corrupted, and bye bye. So now we're sitting here trying to recap this fever dream of a movie. So
Yeah, I'm beginning to think that this movie is low-key cursed.
oh god, probably.
Right when we watched the episode, it's taken down. Just to watch the episode, we had to buy this movie 3 times. Now to right when we were about to edit this and release it hopefully on time, half of it said eat. So here we are again. So yeah, going off where we left off, we were talking about how the bounty hunters had crashed into the church. So the critters, the name they go by, the species I guess is called the Krites.
The Krites, yeah, the Krites.
Yeah, it's Crites.
Yeah.
But they were in church, the bounty hunters, and they were saying, "We're here for the Krites," which made us all think they were saying they're here for Christ. And I was like, oh, wait, what?
So we thought they were having a coming to God moment. Again, we thought this was a completely different movie at this point.
Right, yeah, I was like, oh, this is a coming of age movie.
Yeah, at this point, we still had not really seen the creatures, so it could have been anyone's game at this point.
Oh yeah, they had not appeared yet. Yeah, the critters, the Krites, still had yet to show up. We were joking around how like the family cat was probably the critter, the titular critter. But yeah, so they are in church asking for Christ. And then we cut back to the family house. I'm just going over briefly what I remember because, man, did I try to forget this movie.
Yeah,
I
no,
did not think I'd have to talk about it 3 days after, but here
this
we
whole
go.
thing was a fever dream, man. This that whole night was just an experience.
Yeah. Critters just won't let us go.
No, it would
So
not.
we cut back to the house, and I think it's when we first get the first full appearance of a critter, of a crate, because we see them kill a police officer, but not see them, but rather see like the aftermath of what they've done. Same with the cow, or bull or whatever. I don't know. I'm not a zoologist. Um, and we cut back to the family house. The mother is the first to see them with the red eyes. Um, and they attack the father. So they're in the cellar or basement. They go down. The father tries to pet one of them, which is like, bruh, you hear
Yeah.
noises in the
He
basement.
sees what he can only assume is a rabid animal, and his first decision is to reach his hand out to touch it. I mean,
Yeah,
just perfectly reasonable decision.
yeah. He's attacked. He's he's basically put out by like the little needles they have. They're like porcupines in a ball. They're like no, they're armadillos mixed with porcupines. They roll around, but they have like these like spikes, these spines or whatever, and that they shoot out and they like paralyze you. So the father's out for the count, and they drag him upstairs. Let's see. Oh yeah, and then so the mother, I guess she was never shown how to use a gun, or she's never seen a gun before. When the Krites start attacking the father, she gets the gun and starts whacking them around like it's a baseball bat.
Proceeds to start beating him like she's a major league baseball player. You would think, especially like a farmhand,
Hmm.
living on the farm should learn how to use a gun. But no, she just starts beating him with the butt end of the gun.
Yeah. Um.
And the dad's all stoic through this, by the way. He doesn't
Oh
scream
yeah.
once. Not once does this man even wince in pain.
Honestly, he's probably like the hero of this because not even the bounty hunters. They're not protagonists of the movie. They're just I mean, okay, there's no real protagonist to this movie at all, actually. There's no one that you really want to root for. You just want to, you're rooting for the end credits. That's what you're rooting for. Um yeah, I don't even know, but the father, yeah, he's a champ. He's a champ. They drag him inside. They go inside. They're vibing. The critters are vibing outside of on the porch, and you want to explain this scene?
This has to be my favorite scene in the entire movie, in which there's two crits just vibing on the porch as they drag this wounded father into the building, and the mother's sitting there with the shotgun as she drags him in. Oh, by the way, the only way they were able to get into the house is because the MacGyver kid, as we were mentioning before, climbed a tree to the second floor, busted open a window, and climbed into the house because he just, you know, can just do anything that the plot needs him to do. Unlock the door and proceeds to drag him inside. And apparently these things communicate through subtitles. So you see them just make their little re noise. So in subtitles, one of them turns to the other one on the port and says, "They're armed." And so the other one responds, "So what?" And the mother then proceeds to blast one of them to oblivion. So this guy just turns to his friend who just got murked by this wife with a gun, and and proceeds to scream out "fuck" Fuck in subtitles. best moment, best moment in the entire movie.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. I did not. That caught me off guard, to be honest.
Oh yeah, completely catches you off guard because you're not expecting that at all. It's just it's honestly the best moment of the movie. It's worth watching that scene and that scene alone.
Yeah, yeah. I remember we were watching it, and I know Christian. I love his reaction. We were just watching it. One of them gets completely shot to Kingdom Come, and the other's like, fuck.
Yeah, no, he's just turned into nothing but a fine red mist.
I remember I was just all laughing at that point. That was funny.
Yeah, best moment of the movie.
Caught us off all guard.
Yeah.
That low key adds a point to this movie, honestly.
Oh yeah, definitely.
There's only 2 real points that we like laughed in this movie. There was a point where like I don't know if we talked. I don't remember if this was in the podcast. I don't remember what was left in or not. But I remember we talked about how like when the spaceship lands, it was kind of like it felt like kind of like an earthquake, and the kid was out in the tree trying to like leave the home, and the father was like, "What are you doing in that tree?" And he was like, the earthquake shook me out of the window and made me land in the tree." I remember laughing at the part. I was like, that's pretty funny.
Yeah, it's just another like unexpected moment.
Yeah. And then okay, so the bounty hunters. Going back to the bounty. Oh wait, so the father. Throughout this movie, the father was wearing this like blue and pink shirt that I was like that back logo. Like we never got a clear shot of it. But I was like, that looks familiar until they like dramatically show you the back of the father's shirt. It's literally the Ghostbusters logo, but instead of a ghost, the ghost has like a pinhead, like not pinhead, not from Hellraiser. I know you horror fans are like pinhead crossover. No, like a pin for a head from like a bowling alley, like a bowling alley pin.
Because it's a bowling shirt. It's like it's supposed to be a bowling team because like the whole
Yeah.
one of the whole points of the movie is this bowling tournament that's supposed to be going on. It's mentioned throughout the movie. That leads to nothing.
Yeah, they're hyping up the bowling, the fact that there's a bowling tournament in the bowling alley. We're all like, what's going to happen in the bowling alley? Is that going to be the final conclusion? What's going to be at the bowling alley? Nothing.
It's nothing.
The bounty hunters, they show up. They just, again, harass the people, blow up the place. One of them mimics the drunk guy that we talked about earlier.
Yeah,
that's basically that.
But this basic like it's just a ripoff is all it is. It's just a ripoff of the Ghostbusters logo. They do never mention it, not once.
Yeah,
not a single verbal reference to this logo. Not even the name of the team. Not even like a sign or anything written on the shirts or anything.
Oh yeah,
and it is
yeah.
the biggest missed opportunity in the movie. And they automatically get a point deducted for that. They could have made such an amazing joke. Such an amazing joke, but no.
Oh my god. Oh yeah. I remember on the podcast. I know it's not what was left in, but I remember us joking around how literally what they could have said, like a small reference, not say like, oh, is that the Ghostbusters logo, but like literally just reference something by saying like the bounty hunters show up, and then be like, oh, we need that police, we need help. Who are we gonna call? Like that'd have been so cool.
Something, literally anything, but no, they just didn't.
Yeah, like I don't know. They could have referenced like, oh, we're called the Pin Busters. Oh, that sounds pretty weird.
It would have been better than just nothing, than leaving them unnamed.
Yeah, we were keeping track of how many movies were copied from pop culture from the 80s: Ghostbusters, Star Wars, and E.T. There was another one. I don't remember what else.
Gremlins. The whole movie ripped off.
Oh
Gremlins.
yeah, the whole movie is just
it's just a worse Gremlins ripoff.
Yeah, there we go. So yeah, yeah. Oh, so then we're shown that the critters can grow because one of them starts eating like. Oh, actually, they don't show us eat. They don't. Do they show us eating? Do they show us the critters eating things?
No, because they didn't really have the budget. I can only assume that they did not have the budget to show that.
Right.
But it is assumed that they only grow by eating inanimate objects, which makes no sense.
Right.
But fun fact, this movie is actually rated PG-13, so I'm guessing that has to do with the fact like, oh, we can't have them eating humans. So,
right.
Oh, then they have to eat inanimate objects, which just makes it, it makes it kind of lame. So like, why are they chasing the people then? What's the whole point? It's like, well, we can't have them eat humans. It's PG-13 for the kids, but scary monsters. It's like, why? It's like, what was the point of that?
I bet the only reason they got the PG-13 rating was because of the one critter cussing.
Yeah.
They were like, Write that down. Write that down. It cussed. It
Write that
cussed.
down. You're allowed, I think, one cuss word, and that was it. that
I
was it.
I know you're allowed in PG-13 movies to say bitch.
Are you?
That's why. Yeah, because I don't know how many times. I think one. Because I know in every MCU movie they go for the PG-13 rating, and they go for that one word. Especially if Samuel L. Jackson's in the movie, they give that one to him
Of
because he
course,
likes to cuss.
of course. He has to cuss in every movie,
Um,
even in Star Wars. What did his lightsaber say? Badass motherfucker. Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
he
yeah,
wrote
yeah.
badass motherfucker on his lightsaber
Yeah. Although you can't really cuss in a Star Wars movie because
because it's
how would
rated
you like
PG-13.
profanity? Well, not only that, but profanity in space, like would it make? I mean, they have their own cuss words out there, you know.
I, I
Like
mean,
the words we use here wouldn't make any sense.
I
That's
guess.
like saying horse. They don't have horses over there.
I mean, I guess.
Does that make sense? So yeah, that's probably why they try to refrain from like using cuss words. I don't know. Although
Huh.
if there were cussing in Star Wars, I would give all those words to Jar Jar Binks.
Oh yeah, Darth Jar Jar.
uh,
Those
any
movies would have been
character.
so much better if every
Yeah.
other word that guy said was a cuss word.
Yeah. Someone listening to this, please make an edit of the Phantom Menace where every other word is just that.
It's just fuck. Just Jar Jar Binks. Fuck.
Uh, so where were we at again? Oh yeah. So the critter is wow, we went on a tangent.
Oh yeah, we were on a hell of a
the
tangent.
the critters where they're shown to grow,
Yeah,
and
yeah, they're shown to grow. One of them
one of them
grows
grows
too.
to like ginormous proportions. It's like the size of a door,
Yeah,
right?
it's roughly like 6 feet tall.
Yeah. Which like so they're known to like roll around. One of those things rolling around could like probably knock out like a car or so. I don't
Yeah,
know,
no,
knock
I
out
mean,
people.
imagine like a 6 foot ball of just fluff rolling
But
towards you.
again, they have an opportunity to deliver something really cool and don't. They don't show the huge critter rolling around. And then so the big one, the big critter, the big one,
The
Californian
big
listeners out
boy.
there are like, wait, what? Wait,
No,
what?
no, no, no. I mean, that's basically what this guy was. So basically, the thick
Um,
boy rolls out the window and steals the
he
sister.
steals the sister,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
and
He just yanks her for no
yeah,
reason. Literally no reason.
yeah, and he's taking her to their ship, and the brother is no, actually the brother goes for help before, right? Or does he go after that? He goes for help.
No, no. The bodyguard's already there, or the
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Okay,
they're already
so
there.
yeah, so before the sister gets captured by the critter, the brother goes for help. He encounters the the bounty hunters. He takes them to their home to, fight the Krites, which we've been waiting for. Oh my god, this reunion of the Krites and the bounty hunters.
And the
It
bounty,
ain't
yeah,
nothing spectacular. Um, they they literally aim at everything but the critters.
yeah, they just proceed to blow up these people's home. Like just
They
they
yeah.
just blow up the home without hitting a single crit. They hit one or two critters. They hit the one that's in the toilet.
Oh, that one
One
wasn't
critter's
moving though.
yeah. Well, there's one critter hiding in the toilet because it got lit on fire, and that one just gets blown to smithereens.
Yeah, I remember when it rolled into the toilet. Christian was just like, "What is going on?"
Yeah, and then it just proceeded to stay there for as long as it took.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I was saying how there were so many cool things you could have done where you could like flush the toilet.
Yeah, no, but he just blew it to
Yeah,
smithereens.
he just blew their toilet apart. Um, yeah, they literally. The house is in ruins before they even blow it up, which we'll get to. Um, they they shoot at everything but the critters. The critters all go on the ship or whatever, and they prepare for takeoff. Which why are you taking the sister into space? What are you gonna do,
Yeah,
man?
this point in the movie, they had attacked every human they had seen. So why
Oh
take
yeah, but
the
then
sister?
Yeah, they didn't attack her. They didn't bite her. They didn't do anything. Which is strange.
Yeah, no, they just took her.
Yeah, and so the brother comes back. The bounty hunters don't really stop the critters from doing anything. They don't even save the family. Want to know what saves the day? Alcoholism. Yes, folks, you
Alcoholism.
heard that right.
So
The drunk guy from the beginning, he
the
shows
whole
up.
the whole reason, literally the whole reason that they made this guy an alcoholic throughout the entire movie was just so that in the final scene, this kid. Meanwhile, this kid, by the way, throughout this entire movie has been making literal bombs in the basement. They call them firecrackers, but they're literal sticks of fucking dynamite, like comically large sticks of
Yeah.
dynamite that just explode. There's no fizzle, crackle, pop. They just explode. And he just
He,
happened to have one in his pocket to throw on the spaceship, but oops, doesn't manage to light it. So this guy, the drunk, or the quote unquote drunk who doesn't drink throughout the entire movie, they just called him a drunk so that in the final scene they could have him whip out a bottle of whiskey in a rag and just casually make a Molotov cocktail to light this kid's stick of dynamite that he pulled out of the back pocket. Like,
yeah.
what is this movie? and not and then it's not even that. It's the fact that this tiny stick of well, relatively tiny stick of dynamite blew up this metal spaceship. It
Yeah.
blows up this giant metal spaceship.
Oh, before that though. So I guess it takes time for the fire. The fire hit. The bottle lands on top of the fireworks,
Oh
and there's
yeah, yeah, of
fire
course.
on the fire. But it's movies. It's movie physics, cartoon physics. It doesn't go up instantly. It's got to take its time. We gotta have a comedic thing before
Yeah, of course,
they
of
the
course.
critters. The critters in their spaceship fly over the house, and as a last fu, they literally. It's like the writers were like, you know what was popular? The Death Star blowing up. Let's recreate that. And the ship blows up the house, and I mean, it it, it raises the roof.
It
The house
literally
gets
just
blown,
blows up. Yeah, it just blows the house completely up.
and
And
you see.
they
Oh,
just laugh.
so yeah, these things revel in destruction. No, I think that the critters and the bounty hunters are in cahoots because they both seem to enjoy blowing things up.
Oh yeah, but these things blow up the house, and then I mean, immediately after that, they're blown up themselves, and, and then
Yeah.
and then so happy ending, right? And then all of a sudden, the bounty hunters are just about to leave, and they have some kind of connection, I guess, with this kid that they spent all of 10 minutes with and never really talked to, just because
Yeah.
he led them to the Kreitz and they didn't do jack shit. So they give him this special button that he clicks the next morning,
Yeah.
and the kid
Like
just clicks the button, and the house magically goes back together exactly how it was. And why? Like why? There was no stakes. Like there's no point.
yeah. The house was blown up and I was like, "Oh, like there's stakes. Like this family's going to be having financial struggles for like the next 10 years for the foreseeable future."
For this,
And no, there's no stakes. The
no,
critters come
no,
to town and you could fix everything with the magic button. That
literally
was
magic button.
easy.
Yep. Then it's
Yeah,
all
and then the
crit.
bounty hunters. Does bounty hunters go?
Yeah,
Wait, where do they go?
they just go home. They just literally
Oh,
fly home with
yeah.
literally no crits. And then like the whole point at the beginning, the guy was like, "Oh, bring them to me." And what are they gonna bring home? Fur?
Oh, yeah.
Just goo, jack shit. They brought home nothing. Like what?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, boss. I couldn't bring home anything. Blew them all up. Some kid
Yeah.
blew up their ship.
Oh, I remember I don't know if it was in the podcast or the commentary track. I made a joke about how the alien that contracted them looked like a discount Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because I think Return of the Jedi had come out by that point, and they were like, "Oh, Jabba the Hutt's pretty popular.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's make
So
our version of that."
let's make our
But put
version of
clothes on
that.
him. Put clothes on him. Um.
Oh, meanwhile, as the credits roll, the
Oh
sister,
yeah.
the sister and the boyfriend who had snuck off to the barn in a scene to have some sexy time.
Right.
They the boyfriend was killed and then left there and not mentioned at all. He was killed
Yeah.
and left there, not mentioned at all for the remainder of the movie. So as far
Yeah.
as we know, when the credits roll and their house is all hunky dory and they go back in the house and have a happy ending, his body is still in the barn.
Yeah.
We have no idea what happened to him. He's definitely still rotting in that barn.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah. I bet they just completely. I bet someone who is a
They have
Critters fan is like, well, actually, in Critters 2,
in
you should
Critters,
know.
they found a skeleton in the barn. Like
Oh my god.
I don't know. I'm not even gonna bother looking it up.
Yeah, me neither. Um,
If
but
somebody can let us know, that'd be nice. I'm not gonna waste any more time on this fever dream of a movie. Until we watch Critters 2019, because
uh
apparently they made a 2019 revamp of this movie.
I know, but I didn't even know about that.
I didn't either until I researched it.
Oh,
They
yeah,
made a 2019 last year. They made a new Critters movie last year,
yeah.
and they made
I
a new
feel like
series on what's that one that you watch? The online web
series.
service? No, the online web service that you watch. Shutter. Shutter. It's on Shutter.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, yeah,
It's a
you
yeah
talked about that last
yeah
time.
yeah. It's a single season. It's called Critters. I forget the name, but you
Yeah.
shouldn't bother looking it up anyways. But apparently there is a single season show of Critters.
Wow. Oh yeah. Um, do you think they knew they were gonna make sequels? Because
Oh,
the
definitely.
movie ends
With critter
with
eggs. Crit eggs. Yeah.
yeah, the camera
Or
pans over
crit
the
eggs. Yeah.
newly made house. The family all smiles, I guess. The
The dead
alcoholic
body in the
enjoying
barn.
the family probably gonna be like, oh yeah, we'll let you get more bottles now. And then it pans over to like the chicken coop, and where there should be chicken eggs, there's like these critter eggs, and I think one of them's laughing. One of the I don't remember. I remember there being
Yeah,
laughter when
it was like the weird noise that they make.
yeah, and then it like I think cut to black, and then I was like, wait, they want to make a sequel?
Yeah, they definitely knew they're gonna make a sequel. They definitely knew what they were making. Comedy gold, that's what that was.
Yeah. So yeah, speaking about the sequel, let's go over the legacy of this film.
Oh god.
As you said, yeah, there's what, the 2019 one?
The 2019 one, which is considered a revamp, but there were, I think, three movies that preceded it. Yeah,
Huh.
it goes
Let me
up to
see that.
Critters 4 in
Oh,
the series, and then
right.
oh no, it goes up to Critters 3, I think. I'm not entirely certain.
Let me see who's in. Uh, there's no notable actors in that new one.
I
Oh, so in Critters 2,
Oh
though,
yeah,
as we
yeah,
found
yeah.
out,
Critters 4. It goes up to Critters 4. And
Critters
then
4,
Critters Attack, which is the one that was made in 2019. So there's
right.
Critters 4 is the one in the main line. I guess you could call it the main
I
contingency. And then
looked it up,
Critters Attack.
and Critters Attack is rated R.
Really?
It's rated R.
Oh, interesting.
Whoa.
Yeah, also it has
What, okay,
58% like
what
this
do you think
movie.
that's for? They added more cuss words to the critters, or was it due to like the horror elements?
Well, I mean, just judging at the pictures, I can see that the crits have bloody teeth, so it's definitely, I think, the horror elements.
Oh,
But
I
I
didn't even
also
look at
read that
that.
it says here horror comedy. So I think they also it's probably like a comedy thing as well. Oh, let me read one of these reviews.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
here is a review from a lovely reviewer who viewed this movie. Where do I even start? This movie is so bad that it's good. I love the bad acting, the cheesy plot, all around goofiness that
Oh,
it brings. Critters experience that experience has a charm to it. The low point. This is for Critters Attack 2019. The low point
right.
for the Critters franchise, surpassing the third film to become the new bottom rung on the ladder. Would have become surprised to learn that the creatives behind Critters Attack had only been giving a passing overview of the four films preceding it. Final rating: two
Oh,
stars.
Whoa. Oh, now that you
There's
mention Critters 3,
there's some wow. There's so many people saying that the first four movies are be their favorite. Apparently, there's like a fan following of the original.
oh my God. I actually did not realize that.
What
This is one
the?
I know. So, so there's a lot of horror movies on my list that have like followings.
Hmm.
Like, hold on, let me look up a couple. So obviously we talked about Gremlins and how they have a following. Gremlins, regardless of whether you like horror or not, is a cult classic. I mean, it is.
Yeah,
People,
yeah,
people like The Thing that has a cult following. I know obviously the Universal Monsters do. I love those movies, most of them actually. Child's Play, you know, that obviously do. Most slashers do. Um, a lot of horror movies, Reanimator that has a cult following, they like a lot of them do. I mean, you like also Killer Comes from Outer Space, and
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
it's a really good movie. Some of these movies I didn't know have a cult. I already knew did, but I did not expect Critters to be one of them.
Yeah, no, me neither.
I didn't think Critters was that well known, to be honest.
No, I mean, I had never heard of it. I
Oh
mean,
yeah, yeah,
like,
well,
but like,
yeah,
even like Killer Clowns from Outer Space, 83% like the movie. Like, even Rotten
yeah,
Tomatoes has a 78%. So it was
yeah,
fairly well received.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
well
I know
received.
Critter, I was say Critter Clowns. Oh my
Yeah.
God, the crossover we do not need to see.
No, 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 no.
Killer Clowns, but like I know people like it. I mean, heck, it got to be the maze of last year's Horror Nights. People obviously enjoy the movie, whether it be for the its cheesiness. I mean, its soundtrack is pretty cool too. For those of you who have never heard the theme for Killer Clowns from Outer Space, it's pretty sick. It takes like the clown theme, like do 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 do, and it gives it like a
A rock theme.
yeah.
It's
It
really
makes
good.
you like that song.
Yeah, no, it's great. We'll go more in depth to it once we get to that movie. I can't wait till we get to that movie.
Yeah, I just realized during this throughout this both parts of this podcast, we probably made like 5 references to that movie already.
Yeah, no, well, I can't wait. It's definitely my favorite movie.
Yeah. So I'll go over briefly what I know about the other Critter movies. Critters 2, I know we found out that there's a thing called the Critter Ball, which for those of you at home, you guys can look up what the Critter Ball is. From Critters 2,
It's
I think
insane.
wait, let me look up the title. I know it's Critter 2 something.
It's Critters 2. The main course.
The main oh my
It,
God,
if
the
you
main
look
course.
at the main course, it's like the first image is the critter ball. It's called the
It's
Krite ball, and it's fucking huge.
okay. For those of you listening to this and are like, oh, I wonder what it is, picture one of those critters. And now, if you were to magnetize them all, and 30 of them just got, you know, stuck together,
Into a
it's a
10-foot ball.
it's a bowling, it's a wrecking ball made of just critters.
Yeah, just critters.
Wouldn't that hurt them though? Because I know when they roll as a critter, they're like a, as I said, like a an oh no, I was gonna say anaconda. What are they called? Armadillos, where they roll up into themselves and they roll around. But here, like their mouths are exposed, so they roll on top of their eyes and whatnot?
Yeah.
That hurt. But
Oh,
yeah, and we
definitely.
were saying like how in Critters 2, like obviously Critters 1 showed us that a critter can grow. Now imagine a critter ball made of those 10-foot tall crates. That'd be like the end of the world.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that oh my God. But yeah, that's Critters 2. Let me see what else does that movie have to offer. Nothing much. So
Nothing much.
Critters 3, I did not know about Critters, anything about Critters 3, but Christian actually um is obviously the part was deleted, but he pointed out to us that Leonardo DiCaprio was in Critters 3, which I found to be um mind-boggling, I guess. Hold on, let me see. How old? Yeah, Leonardo DiCaprio. How old do you think he must have been for that film?
Oh, just I have no idea. Super young though.
Yeah. Oh my God. Okay, so I found the poster for Critters 3, and it's it's like a city. I'm gonna assume New York because anything that has a city in it back
We'll
then.
put
Was
it up
obvious.
on screen if you're viewing on YouTube.
Yeah, it's a poster of New York. A critter is going through the poster, looking at you, and the caption says, "First they destroyed a farm, then they terrorized the town," which I'm guessing is critters too.
Yeah.
Now they're ready to do some real damage. Are they gonna take over the city?
God, critters in New York. This is like Muppets take over New York, but crits. Oh
Oh
God,
my god! Did you
the
know? I
crites,
don't know if you
the
know this.
crites.
I feel like that's yeah. There's a Friday the 13th Part 8 is called Jason Takes Manhattan. I feel like that's the last place you go to before your franchise dies. Although to be honest, I don't know how far you could say Critters franchise is living, but um that
I mean,
movie,
they made a movie last year, mate. I don't know.
yeah, and they made a series. Jason's never had a TV series. He's just had 12 films.
I don't know, man.
Um for those of you wondering if we'll ever cover Friday the 13th, we will. Not anytime soon though, because
That's a
we're
good
starting from the
movie.
bottom of the barrel.
Yeah.
You
That
think
has
so?
no place near the bottom of the list.
Yeah, I think it's I think it's an alright. Oh, I don't know. We have to
Comparing
rewatch
it
it,
to
but I think it's
this,
an alright.
it
Well,
is a
yeah,
great movie,
yeah,
and it. I mean, sky's the limit from here, bro.
right. Yeah, well, yeah. This is movie number 95. So the 94 other ones are obviously better than this. The next one, well, you've seen the next one. We're not gonna spoil what it is, but do you think it's
Yeah.
better than this one? Yeah, I
Yeah,
think so
yeah,
too.
definitely.
I think it is. Um, yeah. So, oh yeah. So then after that, oh yeah. Were there any other reviews you wanted to say, or was that it?
They're just all like praising the other four movies.
Huh.
So I guess 2019 just didn't struck a chord with old fans, you know?
Yeah, I feel like people that like this movie are the ones who like grew up
Oh,
in
definitely. They
that
definitely
era.
grew up with it.
Yeah. Um. So yeah. Oh yeah. I remember. Okay, I just remembered. Last episode we had talked about what made Gremlins work and what made this not work. And I remember
Oh, yeah.
pointing out that Gremlins has so Gremlins.
It
The
has
reason it
rules. It
works,
had rules that it abided
yeah,
by. And they were
it
just
has
this one
rules
had
that
no
it
rules.
followed. Gremlins, and literally in the beginning, when you meet the Mogwai, the creatures, the Gremlins, before they become Gremlins, they're just told to the protagonist's father and to obviously the audience the rules of the Gremlins. You're told in the beginning of the movie what the rules are. The whole reason there's a conflict in the movie is because the rules are broken. You have to resolve then the conflict of the movie using those rules. So like one of the rules is don't expose them to light, specifically bright light like sunlight, because that'll kill them. So then when there's light involved, oh, you know what's about to go down. You're like, it's like, yeah, you just like you're part of the movie. You're along for the experience. Here, you don't know what really defeats these guys. I mean, yeah, I don't know. There's no rules. There's no rules really.
Yeah.
I feel like we explained this better last time. there's nothing that is cohesive that's holding this movie together. Whereas Gremlins, there is something that holds it together. You can even compare Gremlins to Gremlins 2. Have you ever seen Gremlins 2?
No, I've only seen the first.
Gremlins 2, the new batch, sucks.
I've heard it. I heard it sucks. I've heard it sucks.
It's so Gremlins 1, I consider it like it's on this list obviously. So obviously it's horror-ish, horror elements. But it's not like, it's like if you want to introduce your kids to horror, I'm not saying it's a kids movie, but it's good. It's a good movie,
Yeah, yeah.
and it's good horror. It's intro horror, I'd say.
Yeah, it's not really that scary. It's just, kind of, it pops
Yeah.
out sometimes, but it's not really that spooky.
Yeah. Gremlins 2 gets rid of all of that, and it goes for the like, oh, in Gremlins 1, we saw some of the Gremlins like doing slapstick humor. oh, let's have this movie be all that. And just amp it up to 1,000. There's a scene. So the reason it's called the new batch is because there's like they're messing with chemicals from what I remember, and I tried to erase this from memory because I remember I'd seen Gremlins as a kid, and I found out about it at my about Gremlins 2 at my aunt's house as a kid, and I was like, oh, I have to watch this. I love the first one. And I remember watching it and just being like, this is one of the decisions I regret in my life.
Just one of the
They
worst movies.
Yeah, so I remember in that movie they start mixing around chemicals, like the gremlins themselves, I think.
Yeah.
And one of them makes a concoction that makes one of them smart, and I believe it starts speaking, and it's wearing glasses.
Oh
Like it's
yeah,
speaking
I think I've heard of this.
and it's speaking, it's like spitting scientific nonsense. There's another one that they make that like sprouts wings, and I remember it goes outside. The reason it's defeated is because it falls in concrete. But if I remember correctly, it goes outside and the sunlight doesn't kill it. Which I remember they completely ignore the rules of the first one and the second one, I believe.
Which, I mean, this movie too. It's like it doesn't follow the rules, and it doesn't really have any rules.
Yeah, Gremlins 2, man, is
It just suffers from the same
yeesh.
thing.
Yeah. I I wonder what I would not know what's better, Gremlins 2 or Critters. I don't know. I Oh my god, we're on another tangent. Whoa. Where were we at again?
We'll go over that movie when we'll go over Gremlins more.
Yeah, we'll go over the legacy and Gremlins in that episode.
Yeah.
But
But I think that's all. That's all. That's all she wrote for Critters.
yeah. Oh yeah, I had gone over. I'd asked you guys what your guys' favorite scenes was, and
Oh yeah.
it was a consensus. We were all in agreement that our
It
favorite
was
scene
definitely
was
the fuck scene.
yeah when the critter literally cusses, caught us all off guard.
Best scene in the movie.
We died laughing. We also, because I asked you guys also, what was your favorite horror element, or if there was even present. I'll agree. We all agree that there really wasn't one, or at least not a strong one, not a strong contender.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
If if you're a kid watching it, maybe.
Not even
And like,
then.
yeah, like that's a maybe. Like again, Gremlins. I'm going back to Gremlins. Gremlins. I remember as a kid, there's a scene where, because when you put them in water, they multiply. So if you like, I remember they splashed like a little droplet in one, and it multiplied into another. So and then it depends on the amount of water you put on them. That's how they multiply. And then one of them, they spilled a glass of water on Gizmo, which is the main Mogwai, and he splits into He splits into five other ones. Um, so we're shown how like various amounts of water determine like how many
Yeah.
times they multiply. And then one of the evil gremlins, when they're dropped in a pool, like an athlete's pool, like a swimming pool, I remember feeling like, oh my god, as a kid, like this is not good. Like I felt I don't know, I felt like, oh, they're doomed.
Yeah, but
Especially
again,
when
in
like the
this
pool's
movie,
glowing.
it just doesn't follow its rules.
Yeah, I did not feel like an impending doom for this
Yeah,
town.
it just wasn't a good horror movie overall.
Yeah, and Gremlins, I wouldn't say. I mean, it has some of its scary moments, but that moment I felt like, oh,
Terror.
everyone's like doomed now. Like they're this movie. I was like, I just want to see things are being blown up. I just want to see the end credit scene.
Yeah.
I mean, the end credits. There's
So,
no end credit scene.
So what would you rate this movie out of 10?
I remember last time I rated it 2.5 or 3. I'll give it a 3.5 only because, to be honest, I enjoyed it watching the second time, but the only reason I want to say is because of you guys. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that commentary that we did.
Yeah, no, it was definitely
The first, because
I would assume it'd be better.
the first time I watched it, like it was like in the beginning of quarantine, and I watched it alone, and I was like, oh, like it was just dragging. But I had you guys along for the rides, and we were just messing, we were having fun, and we were like commenting on the whole movie, so it felt enjoyable. Not the movie, but rather the experience watching the movie.
Yeah, I would have to
So
give the
I'll
movie
give
itself. Oh, you go on.
uh yeah, so I'll give it like a 3 or 3.5.
I'd have to agree with you, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how I'd rate it. And I think Christian actually rated it that too. I think he gave it a 3.
Yeah, something similar.
Yeah. Um and yeah, I believe that was everything we talked about for the movie. So we're going to be uploading this first episode to YouTube, audio only. We might include some visuals for the scenes we're referencing. But we're going to try to make this probably audio only for when we release it to Spotify. We probably won't release it on Spotify to like what, the third or fourth episode maybe,
Yeah, we're still
when
just
we have
trying
a
to
good
figure out all the
handful.
mediums.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so we're gonna release that first episode on YouTube.
Yeah,
You
so
guys can follow us on Instagram at Salem's_station for notifications as to future episodes, as to any delays if there are any, or anything related to Salem Station at all.
yeah, and thank you guys for bearing with us for all these technical issues and for our teething issues as we, start our journey and catch our
Yeah,
bearings.
thank you, Christian, for having been our first guest. Not here right now with us, but thank you. Oh yeah, and if you're watching this on YouTube or listening to it, as I said last time I remember saying how I loved to ironically say this. Now I get the chance to unironically say this. Leave a like leave a like on this video. Drop a comment as to whether you like Critters or not. What were your thoughts on this first episode? Anything we can improve on. Um, hit that subscribe button and click that bell for notifications.
We're now
y-
YouTubers. we have become
yes.
the thing we seek to destroy.
You have become the very thing we see.
We seek to destroy.
Oh, jeez. Nice Star Wars references for the Star Wars fans out there.
Yes.
Yeah. And, and catch you guys next episode. Next episode will be movie number 94. So we're going up on this ladder, rung by rung. Movie number 94. We won't say what it is, but it's a terrifying movie. Terrifying with the question mark, because is it?
I'd say it's a
You guys
pretty
will find out.
terrifying movie.
You guys will find out all our thoughts on that terrifying movie. Next podcast episode. And that'll be it. I'm your co-host, Robert.
And I'm a co-host, Alex.
And we'll see you next episode on The Witching Hour.
See ya.